life and history of our universe. Love has always been the highest wisdom revealed to the prophets of mankind. Come and learn why. The God genes decoded by R.A. Waldron.
This is R.A. Waldron, author of The God Genes Decoded with the Ancient Egyptian Lifestyle and Culture Show. The ancient Egyptians were a cosmopolitan civilization building people. Most of what we know of modern civilization, the ancient Egyptians had begun to pioneer from what is considered a very early period in human history. When Egyptologists speak of the circa dates of the founding of the ancient Egyptian empire, and you look at the archaeological remnants of these beginning stages of the founding of the ancient Egyptian empire, you can see that from its inception, the people that pioneered the building of the ancient Egyptian empire already had a plan, a schematic, a goal, as if they were coming from an already established civilization. And quiet as is kept, or not so quiet, these people were pretty much already in the business of civilization building, landscaping, land development, pioneering a social, economic, and political structure that we would call advanced, modern, and contemporary. From an early time, they had a system of writing. They were already keeping track of the movements of the planets and these type of things. But one of the things that really made ancient Egypt a special civilization to take note of are the things you find in ancient Egypt that is so common in contemporary cultures of today. For instance, the ancient Egyptians had barbershops. It was pretty normal for an African man to go to a barber, or an African woman to go to a barbershop to get her hair cut. As a matter of fact, the barbershops, some of them at least, would collect the hair and also make them into wigs. So the ancient Egyptians also pioneered the art of making wigs for older people who wanted to preserve that youthful look. So when you see black women wearing wigs to keep themselves looking young at an old age, this is not something that they originally got from coming into contact with Caucasian people. It was also very normal for ancient Egyptian women to go to hair salons, meaning there were hair salons in ancient Egyptian civilization. It was quite normal for black women to go to a hair salon to get their hair done in many different styles and fashion. It was also very, very normal for black women and men, well-to-do stature in ancient Kemet, to go to what you might consider a concert or an opera or a performance or a theater, to see people with a wide range of musical instruments composing music, playing music, and also singing and dancing. As a matter of fact, there are depictions of ancient Egyptians doing what you might consider to be the origins of ballet, or ballet itself. So the ancient Egyptians, we use the word ancient rightfully so, because at a very, very early period in human history, when many other civilizations around the globe, or many other people around the globe, were in a state of, you could call it savagery, didn't have the trappings of civilization, didn't have the infrastructure, didn't have observatories to keep track of the stars, didn't have clinics to heal people, didn't have roads as infrastructures, didn't have universities, centers of learning, far less barbershops, hair salons, and so on and so forth. You could find these things amongst these very, very wise, powerful, and great African people of the Nile Valley. So ancient Egyptian culture pretty much is the foundation of all of the so-called modern cultures of the Western world. You know, today many people might think of, you know, going to see a play as something that Caucasian people do or that they started, but actually thousands of years ago in the Nile Valley civilizations of Africa, our early ancestors had already begun to enjoy these trappings of civilization. This is Barber Mensa Ogun for the Egyptian Lifestyle and Culture Show. Thank you very much. Till next time.
Perhaps the most startling of all the relics of the past in Upper Egypt are the giant statues known as the Colossi of Memnon. Centuries before the Roman Empire was founded, these colossal and weird figures were sitting out here in the valley of the Nile, silent sentinels of time, guarding the royal tombs that are hidden in the barren hills behind them. This is Luxor, site of the ancient city of Thebes, where one may find comfort in the best of modern hotels and at the same time live in an atmosphere of peace and antiquity amidst the famous ruins of Upper Egypt. For several thousand years, the Egyptians developed their civilization on the banks of their beloved river, a civilization that finally became the most precious heritage of the Greeks and the Romans. The Temple of Luxor, which was built about 1,500 years before Christ, is a remarkable tribute to the architectural genius of the Egyptian pharaohs. The unusual dry climate has made it possible for these columns to stand as we see them now for more than 3,000 years. 3,000 years. We must keep this element of time in our minds to best appreciate the architectural achievements of man in an age that knew nothing of modern machinery and very little of the modern methods of construction. No people, ancient or modern, ever conceived the art of architecture on so broad and grand a scale as the old Egyptian pharaohs.